And you're very welcome back to another edition of Boylesports Billy. Yes, it's that time of the week again when we ask the GAA's #1 pundit to come up with the various predictions for the matches ahead in the weekend's fair. Well, coming up, we're going to be concentrating on 2 football games from the qualifiers, and of course the hurling championship is reaching into the business end of proceedings. We have 2 cracking games to look forward to on Sunday. Let's start with the football, and a double header taking place tomorrow evening in O'Connor Park in Tullamore. It's going to be Cork against Sligo. That game gets underway at 5. Sligo were beaten by Galway in the Connacht Championship, but they've done well in the backdoor system. The big question for Cork, can they recover after the Munster final defeat at the hands of Kerry? That game is followed by the meeting of the beaten provincial finalists in Connacht, who of course are Galway. A number of changes for Alan Mulholland against the surprise package of this year's championship Tipperary. Went so close in Munster to beating Cork, and since then they've gone through the backdoor system in style, including a big victory over Laois and Longford. On Sunday, the attention turns to hurling. Another double header. Simple Stadium in Thurles is the venue. 2 cracking games to look forward to. Limerick against Wexford and Tipperary against Dublin. Who's going to emerge victorious in all of those matches? It's time to find out and hand over to our GAA expert, the predictable himself, Boylesports Billy. First up, it's the meeting of Cork, and they will be taking on Sligo, a Munster side against the Connacht men. It's a Division 1 team against a side maybe that struggled somewhat in Division 3 of the Allianz League. The smart money here is going on the Rebel County, despite that big defeat against Kerry in the Munster Senior Football Final. Well, let's see what Billy is going to predict in our opening game. Cork in red and white, Sligo, well, they've got the black and white colours this afternoon. Billy decides to take a look at the Yates County, but on second thoughts, it's a move, and a wise move, to the Rebel County of Cork. Cork v Sligo. Billy going with the bookies' favourites. He's predicting a Rebel victory. Second game in O'Connor Park in Tullamore on Saturday evening is another meeting between provincial rivals Connacht and Munster. This time round it's Galway, the beaten Connacht finalists from 2014, taking on a Tipperary team that have very much been the surprise package of the 2014 championship. Maybe the form was early on. They won the Allianz League Division 4 title, and they've continued on that winning mentality into this year's championship campaign. This really is one that the bookies simply cannot separate the 2 teams from. The bookies can't call it, but let's see about Billy. Tipperary in blue and yellow, Galway in maroon and white, and would you believe it, Billy is going for the Premier County to extend their fairy tale season of 2014. When it comes to Galway v Tipperary in the football, Billy decides it's going to be Tipperary's day. Let's concentrate next on the sport of hurling, and as we've already mentioned, what a double header to look forward to on Sunday in Simple Stadium. First up, it's Wexford, who have been really the team of the championship so far. Beaten Clare in the All-Ireland qualifiers, and of course last week they got past Waterford as well. It's Munster opposition running yet again for them this weekend when they take on a Limerick team who were beaten in the Munster final by Jimmy Barry Murphy's Cork. So will Wexford prolong their fairy tale summer, or will it be Limerick who get back once again to the business end of the championship? Let's find out from Boylesports Billy as he decides to look at Wexford and Limerick, and maybe the fact that Wexford have been out for the last number of weeks. Billy is deciding to go for Limerick. They also maybe know Simple Stadium a little bit better. Perhaps a wise prediction from our very own GAA pundit. Boylesports Billy predicts a victory for Limerick on Sunday. Our final game for this week once again comes from the All-Ireland Hurling Championship. It's the second of those double headers that's taking place in Simple Stadium. Tipperary on home soil, a team who have really responded well since their defeat in the Munster Championship. After an excellent victory over Galway, it really ignited their summer. They're up against last year's Leinster champions, Dublin, who were Leinster finalists this time round, but lost to Kilkenny. Well, can Dublin rediscover that winning mentality, or on home soil, will Tipperary advance? Let's find out now, and hand it over to Boylesports Billy for his final prediction for this weekend. He's looked at the colours, and he's going for Tipperary to see off Anthony's Daly's men in Simple Stadium in Thurles.